Hello, and welcome to Matt's Casual Cooking, and welcome back to Bread Month. And also, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we are going to be making authentic Irish soda bread. A very, very simple four ingredient and recipe that you can make, well, even any time of year that you like. It's very good, very kind of has a nice tangy flavor to it. So we're going to go over all the ingredients and how to put together, and let's get to it.
All right, folks. So, as you can see, we've got four ingredients for this. So, this is a very easy bread to put together. Now, part of the reason this bread rises is because you're getting a reaction between the baking soda and the buttermilk because we're not using yeast for it. Now, how much you're going to need for each one is you're going to need 4 cups of flour. You need 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 cups of buttermilk. Now, as you can see, I'm not using the liquid buttermilk. I'm using this cultured, which is a yellow powder. And you do mix it in with water to get it to a liquid. But I really like using this, as I've mentioned in past videos, because I don't use that much buttermilk in a lot of my recipes, but I do have this that you can store in the fridge for a long time and use it when you need it. You don't have to keep going out and buying it and worrying, that's going to go bad right away. So one of the reasons this bread is called Irish, I do want to point out, it was popular around the potato famine, and it's because these ingredients here were more readily available than obviously potatoes, so they had something to eat. So we're going to go over how to put it together here in a second. I will see you then. All right, folks, so we have the flour, baking soda, and the salt in one bowl, and you're going to want a good sized bowl for all of this. And all we're going to do, very easy, just pour your buttermilk in it. I'm actually going to scrape some of that down. All the liquid we can get on this. Now all you're going to do is take a fork and you're just going to stir it together just briskly. You don't have to supercharge it or anything. We're just going to stir it together until the dough becomes kind of like just a rough mass together. That's really all you got to do. So once that's done, we will move on to once you're done, go ahead and we're going to put it out onto a lightly floured surface. So go ahead, get that out after you're done, and I will see you then. All right, folks, so you can see we've got our dough out on a floured surface, and you can see, and you're going to be able to tell, it's actually a very sticky dough. It's like the English muffin bread dough that we made quite some time ago, but also very good. So just add the little flour. We don't want to go too crazy. And we got you got some extra flour here, and if you want to, kind of just put a little in your hand to kind of make sure it doesn't stick as much. And we're just going to knead it together. And you're only going to really want to knead this for about 30 seconds to a minute. It's actually going to form very, very quickly together. You can kind of see it's actually coming together already quite nicely. This isn't going to take long to put together. So what you want to do though is once it's kneaded together, we're not going to let it rise. That's one of the nice things about this. There's no yeast in it, so we don't have to let it sit and rise for 20 hours like we did with the white bread. So go ahead, and once it's done, and it's gonna be kind of elastic. What you want to do is you want to kind of form it into a ball. It's going to need a little bit longer, and we're going to put it into about a 8-inch circle, and we're going to need it about 1.5 inches high. Now, if you have a little bit more with a little bit less height, I mean, that's okay. It's not life or death or anything like that. So go ahead and do that and actually get out a baking sheet as well. So I will see you in just a minute. All right, folks. So when you get out your baking sheet, or you can actually use an 8-inch like cake pan for this if you want to. Make sure you grease it. You don't have to like heavily grease it. Just make sure you grease it. Go ahead and take a knife, a very good sharp knife. And we're going to cut an X on it. And go back in. Go in about a 1/4 inch. I think I'm good here on this. Now turn your oven to 375 degrees, and we're going to cook it for 45 to 50 minutes. And what we're looking for is, well, we're looking for the X here to kind of rise and spread out, but we're also looking for like a nicely browned crust on the outside of it. So once you've done that, go ahead and get out a cooling rack and a towel, and I'll tell you why afterwards. So I will see you then. All right, folks, so we are done. You can see the middle here has opened up, and if you kind of hit it, you can kind of have like a hollow feeling, but you can see the outside is also very nice and brown. Now you can see I've also got a towel under it, and what you want to do is I have it sitting on a cooling rack also. You want to dampen your towel or terry cloth if you have one available. We're just going to wrap it up. Make it damp. You don't need to over wet it. Now the reason why we're doing this is because the bread doesn't have necessarily a lot of moisture, and while we let it cool, we need to keep some of the moisture in it so it kind of stays soft as well. So, but what we're going to do, and this is the longest part of actually making the bread, is we're going to let it cool here for 8 hours. Now I know that's a long time, but trust me, once it's done, it is 100% worth it. So this is really good too for overnight. So if you make it right before bedtime, you know, you're going to have it for breakfast in the morning. And so I will see you in, well, 8 hours. So see you then. All right, folks. So you can see we are done. You can see, you can kind of press this in. The towel's kept it nice and moist for the most part. And this is really important for kind of really the softness of it, like I said earlier. And as far as storage, besides your stomach, plastic containers work really well for this. This goes really good with butter. That's really the best way I enjoy it. So if you enjoyed making this recipe today, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I want to thank you for watching, and please come back next week for more bread month. So I will see you then, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Take care.